Thank you so much for hanging out with me on a Wednesday night. I am JB Bryan, the President and Chief Investment Officer at JB Bryan Financial Group, the home of AfroEconomics, indeed. And I would love for you to register so that you can fully participate with those who are in the webinar right now. I have been begging them to let me see their face, and that I have a person who has raised their hand. So I'm going to see if she will participate along with me. I have two. I hope they are ready to go. Make sure y'all have your your lights on in your the lights on at home. I'm going to do, let's see. That only allows you to talk. The promote to panelists. There's one promote. I hope it worked, ladies. How you doing? How are you? I don't hear yours. Oh, I hope I didn't do the wrong person. Look, that's terrible. That would be terrible. Look.
No, can you hear me?
Here we go. Look, I'm gonna get all y'all women up there. Carla's like, I did not ask to do that. Look, Carla, I'm gonna try to put you back down, but I don't change the role. Yeah, it was Miss Guy who, look, she raised her hand for something, but I got you in there now, Miss Guy. But you have to turn your camera on. I'm going to, well, I am going to take you, and I'm not gonna let you do it, because I'm not gonna let you do it. I'm not gonna let you do it by yourself. I know you are my ace cool, but Miss Guy won't do it, so we're not gonna do it. We're going to. Oh, there she goes. Now you did it. Good for you. Look, now I got to bring her. I just demoted somebody because you weren't in there. Girls, let me find Miss Felder again. I don't know. She's going to smack me in the head. Oh, here she is. Here she is. Okay. All right. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. I don't know what. We have so many people. I'm going to put her back up. And then this is going to be it. And then I'm going to promote her, and I'm going to have two ladies. I need a man that will hang out with me, but I'm not sure that the dudes are willing to hang out with us tonight. And so I'm going to move forward. We are talking about, look, you can't show us your closet. We don't want to see. Look, this guy is showing us everything. You see? Look, we talk about closet recovery too. That. Look, that's right. So today we're talking about shake it off. And thank you so much, y'all, for participating. If there's anybody who's logging in, please raise your hand. Look, that's good. That shows you're a hard worker that's logging in and would like to get promoted to tell us their bounce back story. Please make sure that you raise your hand so that I can know and I can promote you. Thank you all so much. Before y'all share your stories with me, ladies, somebody chatting in there. I'm available. Get louder. I hope the sound is much better now. Yes, okay. So let's talk about bounce back and shaking it off. Now, one major thing that I hear a lot with our AfroEconomics members and my clients and everything is about things like job loss, medical emergencies, bad investments that they've made. I've seen people, invest in businesses and lose a lot of money that they didn't think through thoroughly. Feeling overwhelmed from having a huge amount of debt in general. Having huge amounts of school loan debt has become, I was on a panel today, and this young lady was talking about how, her decision to go on to law school created so much debt for her that she didn't feel comfortable with entrepreneurship, there's so many different examples. But my key message here, before we get our rule flow on, is that don't allow adversity to take you down. We have to start from the top. So for everybody, if they don't go all the way through this, and I hope you will, you hear that, but I want you to make sure that everybody, realizes how important it is to start from the top, that your growth through adversity will stop from how your mindset is, how you view the situation that you're in. Because there's not a person on the planet that does not go through some sort of adversity financially, but it's how they look at it, how they view it, how they approach it is, becomes the key of how, if it's a learning experience for them, or it's something that defeats them. They crawl up in a ball and it beat them down for the rest of their adult life, basically. So I have as a first point to start from the top, change the way that you look at the situation, see it as an opportunity to learn, grow, and to strengthen your financial base. So, Ms. Guy, tell us about something that, a situation that you think that you grew through. Let's look at it that way.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, indeed, pretty girl.
Girl, if you can see me. I didn't know it was going to be on camera. But anyway, I started out working in Hampton, Virginia at a company, and I was doing really well. I bought a house there. I thought everything was going to go perfect. I put in for a position there. And then lo and behold, after it was all said and done, I was told that I was not qualified for the position anymore. HR had pulled the position, and that was the end of it.
Wow.
So I was like, what in the world is going on? But I happened to have at the same time put in for a position for Philip Morris, and they said, well, we don't have anything right now, but we'll keep your resume on file. So financially, I was like, okay, do I make this move? Because during the time, it was like the last hired, first fired type thing.
Yeah.
So I said, well, do I take a chance and get this position at Philip Morris? And I said, no, I'm going to stay at the other company. So I did that. And what happened was Philip Morris called me back. And they said, you know what, we got a higher position, better pay. We'll give you the same vacation, everything. We want you to come work for us. So it was like $12,000 more a year.
That's great.
Isn't that great? So I decided that I was not going to worry about the last hired, first fired thing. I wasn't losing 10 years at the other company. I was taking 10 years with me.
That's
and it allowed me now to be in a position where you are helping me to grow with everything that I got from being at that position at Philip Morris.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. But so basically, you're saying that you almost allow fear, even though this other company didn't appreciate you, you almost allowed the fear of moving forward, allow you to stagnate at the old place. And and when you really thought about it, you're like, wow, I'm getting a promotion. Like, this is, I have to make this change. And good for you, good for you. What could have been financially devastating, depressing, because it's very emotional, it's very emotional. Like, a lot of these financial things, they're getting to you more in your head than anything else. But by not becoming depressed and saddened and losing your self-confidence by one company's opinion, and that happens often because your company is bigger than you. But don't allow that one company, that one person, that one business, that one everything, anything define you. Don't let it. And good for you. What a story. Definitely. Thank you.
And as a very young person, it was really challenging for me to step out of my comfort zone and move to a place where I didn't know anybody. It was a big city. I came from a very small county, Middlesex County. And I'm like, what am I going to do with myself? What if I don't succeed? But what if I don't take the chance to? So.
That's right. And that's what I was telling a young lady in this workshop today. She was saying she wanted to have her own business, but she had this school loan, debt. And it was so much that it wasn't going to be paid off if she waited another 5 years anyway. So it's like, what's the difference? I mean, even the fact that the word job security is an oxymoron, because it's a job. There is no security in a job. Yes. Is that funny? Job security. I mean, really? The only time you're not going to get fired is if you have, your own business. And then you got to put in that time. You got to put in that effort, put in that grind. But job insecurity shouldn't even be in the same sentence. You have a job. Yeah. So another point, some other points I would thank you so much. Stay with me. Is that as Ms. Guy did, check yourself. What part do we play in the situations that we go through? If we don't take personal responsibility for what we go through financially, personally, whatever, professionally, in that workplace, then it will be repeated. So whatever it was that didn't work for her in that last position, when she got to that next position, her approach was totally different, where, you're like, oh no, wait a minute. Last time I didn't let them know about all this work I'm doing at home. I know this time they're going to know about all the work that I do for the supervisor that the supervisor is taking credit for. I'm going to make sure, or whatever, just as an example, but you can't approach, that allow the things that we go through to allow us to assess ourselves, because we can immediately always blame things on other people, but there's no lesson there. There's no power there. So it's like, how can, what can I do, like you said, about even after leaving the other long-term position that you sought out professional assistance, thank God that you selected me, and then you move forward from there, because for a lot of people in a situation of financial transition, be it good or bad, getting good financial professional advice, can make all the difference in how you recover from it. It can take forever, or you can get some help and hopefully shorten the time on that financial recovery. So tell us, Tyrell, a little bit about how you have been able to take your experiences, take personal responsibility, especially I know that you have military experience. So if you take, military experience and, a transitioning out of the military and, turning that into, a good thing for you.
That's been a challenge for the last 3+ years. For those who don't know, I spent almost 30 years in the military, and going back and forth. They move you wherever they're going to move you, but at the same time, I had a relatively stable environment. I didn't go a lot of places, but I can tell you when you expect that certain income is going to be there and suddenly it's not.
That's right.
You would expect some things to be taken care of. You watch people leave the military, whether they retire or not. You expect that you see them get out and say, oh, I've had my fill, whether it's officer enlisted, they do 5 years, they do 6 years, whatever they do, and they leave, had enough and go, and they find work lickety split, gone, and life goes on. Well, they're gone, and you still have to do your daily grind.
Yeah.
Raise your family, do what you've got to do. You would hope that when your time comes, you find work lickety split like they did. That didn't happen for me. And so I had to sit there and say, well, okay, hold on. Something's not quite right. What's going on here?
That's right.
I've got more than enough education, more than enough experience in that education.
Right.
Something ought to be coming my way.
I wonder sometimes, is it ever a person, it sounds stupid, but can a person actually have too much education sometimes?
Sometimes, yes, but I also think it's timing.
Yeah.
And the right I hate to say it, but timing is everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes this is still a who you know world.
Isn't that the truth? Yes.
You could have all the education in the world or none.
Yep.
And if you know the right people, they can walk you right through, because there are some places you can go and have all the right education, all the right experience, and not get your foot in the door. And then you can have people with no education at all, know all the right people, and be at the top of the line for everything. I said, how is that person there?
That's right.
with
right?
no education, and they should.
That's right. You've got, and you might have twice as much or whatever.
Exactly.
It's so true. Or 3 times. It's so true. It is. It's just somebody given the opportunity. Like I have clients who have jobs that they're retiring from that require an engineering degree to do the same job that they were trained to do out of high school.
Exactly.
So it's, there is definitely a challenge in the Black community of underemployment. Like our employment numbers look better because they forced us off unemployment. So they started forcing people off unemployment. So people started just taking jobs. But if you look at it as underemployed, there are so many Black college graduates who are unfortunately underemployed. And that's why I totally advocate, entrepreneurship has to be presented to us more as an option so that we can start graduating and realizing that we have to have a way of generating income for ourselves and creating our own businesses and letting our young people know that it's okay to go to college and not have to go ask someone else for a job. Like you can actually go to college to earn knowledge for yourself. But we've been programmed that you go to college so that you can go work for someone else. But that doesn't have to be the case. Like at University of Virginia, where I went undergrad, they do a lot of entrepreneurship emphasis now. And that's because there's a lot of opportunity in entrepreneurship. And, basically we would have a lot more employment. Our unemployment numbers would be much smaller if if on a national level, we encourage entrepreneurship. But AfroEconomics, we're going to continue to do that, to push it. And, I'm glad that you said, with this, all that being said, you took it as an opportunity to start your own business. You don't need to work as an entrepreneur to move forward. Because that's how Sandy says, Sandy, let me know, raise your hand if you are ready to go on camera. Sandy says, it's politics sometimes, it's the way to go now. She's talking about when I said entrepreneurship. Yeah. Even if you're young people, if you work for a company for 6 months or longer, it's considered good. That's really sad, isn't it? And so that now, people aren't getting as much time. On average, it's research shows that people are switching jobs about 7 times during their career. So even the time that you did get, with the government is phenomenal. Like that's not happening now. You see the restructuring of the government benefits program for enlisted. I have an, active military membership because there's a lot more responsibility put on them now to save money for themselves, and an opportunity for them to save money where when you were in the military, it was all or nothing, in order to get the full retirement.
We tell them up front, you need to get into the TSP, understand. Nobody's going to look out for you when you leave. If you don't start doing it now, you're on your own when you're out of here. If you stay 4 years or 24 years.
That's right. And that TSP is the Thrift Savings Plan.
Yes.
For, and now available for active military also. So definitely, y'all stay with me. I'm gonna go through some more points. So then also, so I said, check yourself, be a part. What part did I play in the situation? 3, correcting your challenge and realizing that it is a process, that there is no easy way out of a financial challenge. There's no easy way to recover from a foreclosure of your home. There's no easy way, to recover from a job loss that has allowed you, to get behind. There's no easy way. No matter how many commercials that are run, no matter how many calls that you get that say we can get rid of these debts, that we can repair your credit, it is a process. There is nothing there. As an AfroEconomics member, I will tell you when we start working on your credit report that it's a process. There's people say, oh, I'll get rid of that. There's no lesson there. Even if you could throw away everything off your credit report, and it showed that you had a high credit score, more likely than not, you would still mess it up because you did not learn the lesson there. Research shows that like people who will refinance their home, pay off all of their credit card debt, end up back in credit card debt again because they took the easy way out. So what we want to do is make sure that we realize that financial rehab, shaking it off, is a process. That's right. So a fourth point is to build a financial plan. Build a plan and a budget that includes saving and investing at the top of your budget and at the plan. So if you have, I'm saving this amount each month, or I want to save this amount each week as part of your plan, it shouldn't be, I'm going to save whatever's left over. And we do that too often in financial services. We'll say, show me everything that you're spending. And then we go, oh, look, you have this left over, then we can save this. No, let's set the budget of what you want to save at the top, because just accumulating a $500 or $1,000 savings can make such a big difference for you if in the time of emergency. It just really can. And it all comes down to discipline. I mean, it really comes down to discipline, especially people who work for someone. Now, as an entrepreneur, we have a lot of extra challenges because, you're depending on deals being paid, money coming in, accounts that are receivable being received. But people that work, if you have a job and that's the amount of money that you make every week, every month, every 2 weeks, that's what you make, then you know exactly what you're working with. And you're blessed to know that. So you just have to have the discipline to say, this is what I'm going to save. And it's great when you can save it pre-tax. And it's so many work plans now have a savings tool where you can put money for savings and for your long-term goals. Because you have to remember, your retirement account is not a savings account. So your 401k is not something for you to be going in and out and stuff like that. No, we're talking about your emergency account, and that's not a retirement account. So building that financial plan. A fifth point is that difficult times require difficult decisions. So you have to prepare to change the habits that created that difficult time. So difficult times require difficult decisions in order to make these times better. So it's not going to be, easy. It's not going to be, like, oh, this is hard for me. I'm just going to file bankruptcy and everything will be much better. Most people, if they file bankruptcy, go through a period of emotional disappointment, almost ashamed, because most of us want to pay our bills. We don't want to have to say, oh, I did that. Sandy's going to come in with us. That I had to do that. That I had to just throw all my bills away. So, we have that. I had to do the bankruptcy, and then you had to pay to get the bankruptcy done. You had to, go through all of that. And then most people have to then set up this relationship, Sandy, and then it still didn't make things better. So I want to say, avoid bankruptcy. But if you do file bankruptcy, get over it. Move on quickly. Bad, like a bad boyfriend, right? Like, it's like, how people, they have like a bad relationship, Sandy, and they just, like, over and over and over. You know what I'm saying? They keep talking about how bad he was, but he's gone, So, look, I'm trying to unmute you, Sandy. I think you're muted yourself. Try unmuting for me, Sandy. I'm going to try. Oh, I think we're doing it at the same time.
Okay.
Now, right?
There we go. There we go.
You do it. Hey, beautiful. Yes, indeed. But it's like, if you do something that's challenging, if you do something that you felt like you had to do, you went through this horrible marriage, you had all these debts, whatever it was, you were sick for a long time, and the person had to file bankruptcy, and I'm suggesting that they just do it and get over it quickly. We all know that stuff happens, and sometimes that's all that you can do. But there's a lot of guilt, a lot of shame that when I look at the research. So what we have to do is say, yeah, I had to do that. And what did I learn from it? Because Sandy, there's people who are on record. There was a lady running for city council and she had like repetitive bankruptcies.
Wow.
So it can easily become, first of all, it's public record, So in that case, like we should avoid everything that we can to not have to do so. But see, because people talking about you riding in an ugly old car is nothing compared to wanting to make a difference to society and then having to deal with that, like Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? And people kept saying, oh, your business is filed bankruptcy. Here he is running for president. And he got to hear that over and over and over again. So it still has that stigma with it. What can you share with us, Sandy, about learning from stuff, getting through it? I know you had some points about, young people not being able to stay at jobs now.
Well, I wanted to share with the group in terms of ageism, in terms of being forced out because of a health issue, which is what I had experienced. I was going to retire anyways 2 years ago, and I just wanted to commute from home for 2 months. And Lyme disease did not allow me to be able to make daily 4-hour commutes. And I could do my job effectively, even better at home. But
for you.
The organization I was with, the largest casino in the world, the Fed, just did not want to accommodate that.
Right.
And, you have managers who want to make themselves look good. I'm out. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
And God has continued to bless me.
Good for you. Good for you.
I'm not worried about it. It has enhanced my life.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And what do you think, how did you get through, how did it set you back, with them, making you have to retire before you were, you know what I mean?
Well, it cut short 2 months that more money that I should have received.
Okay, because your pension, and that's everybody. Pension is not the same as salary.
Right.
So
right. I would have received more money had I been able to stay 2 more months.
Okay.
But I'm working to recoup and enhance that and go past that.
That's right. That's what I'm here for. That's what's up. Good for you.
Yeah.
But
I don't regret it at all. Absolutely.
Good for you.
I was more than ready to go.
Good for you. Their loss is our gain. But that is sad. But only reason that you were able to do that is because the time that you had invested and the money that you had saved, but to get you through. And I think that, again, even no matter how many years, you had all those years in in order to be getting a pension, and yet still she was able to be pushed out. And I've had so many people who I've had situations, I've heard people say, I can't believe they would do this to me after I was there for 25 years. And I can't believe they would do this to me. I was there for 20 years. And it's but they don't look at it that way. You're just, unfortunately, a number. You know what I mean? You're a number. You're in a particular position. They have somebody else they can slot right up in there in too many situations. So what we have to do is protect ourselves. What did you say?
They do it because it isn't them.
Right.
It's convenient.
Oh, it's not happening. It's not happening to them.
Exactly. It's easy to do to someone else. As long as it doesn't hit home to them, it's very easy for them to do to someone else.
And sometimes they're getting a bonus. They could be getting a bonus in order to do it.
They do. They do. Absolutely.
That's so sad. That's so sad. Go ahead and get that off the books. And then we'll go ahead. The other person is down some levels below, so that increases their budget. They saved they saved some money It might be, and
Sure.
take that as a bonus. That's sad. That's sad.
I was trying to save them money by automating.
Right?
I would have eliminated my position anyways.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's like, I'm ready to go. And
Yep.
see, one thing, it doesn't help if you are confrontational with people.
Yeah.
And I was, because I was calling them out on their wrongs. Okay.
That's point number 2. We have to take ownership, you know what I mean, of what part did I play in it. But the blessing is you can sit there and be proud of yourself for standing up for yourself.
Right.
There's a point, like this brother told me one time, his mother cleaned up houses for people. And he said one day, every day, the woman, and she was a black lady, and she cleaned up for this white family. And every day when the husband would come home, the wife would start being disrespectful. But when the husband wasn't home, the wife would be nice. So he said one day, the wife was fussing him out because, you know, the husband was there. And the wife was fussing his mama out. And he said his mama, now as poor as they were, he said, my mama turned around and looked at that woman and said, you know what? You can do this yourself from now on. You know what I'm saying? And walked out. And I said, and he said, but my mom, you know what I mean? Her attitude was, I don't have to take that behavior. I mean,
Right.
if it is, you know what I mean? You don't have to. You don't have to.
Right.
So good for you, you know, because of taking the ownership of, yes, I stood up for myself, but I am, you know, it was worth it to me. You know,
Yeah.
there's not a time where I have stood up for myself that I've regretted it. You know what I mean? Because it always, you know, pays to keep yourself psychologically healthy. If you stay in control of your mind, you can do anything.
Yeah. And also, I just like to point out that when you've been through it before, you know what to expect. So it's not like, oh, I'm this loyal person. How could they do this to me? It's like, okay, let me see, how can I get around it quick enough
Yes.
to, you know, avoid all of the foolishness.
Yes, that's well, good for you. You wanted to avoid the foolishness?
Yeah.
Good. That's right.
I was ready. Okay.
Good. And fully. So then another point is foreclosure on a home mortgage. Between 2007 and 2011, a record number of homeowners, this is from AARP research, from age 50 and older went through foreclosure or were 90 days or more behind on their mortgages. So when we have to realize that happens because of not having savings. You know, you get that behind because up to 2007, it just seemed like nothing was ever going to change. Businesses were doing well. The government got this great big pack of money and they gave it to those businesses, and the consumer still had to go through foreclosures and bankruptcies that hit our communities
harder.
Extremely hard. And we're still recovering from that as far as when you look at the wealth numbers, because so much of our wealth was tied up into real estate and into residential properties. So we have to realize, if you want to prevent that from going on and you're a home buyer, see, homeowners can't get foreclosed on because they own it. So they use that term homeowners so loosely because really we're home buyers. You know what I'm saying? So home buyers need to have emergency funds. Indeed, everybody does. But if you're still paying on that mortgage, they will take your house. So a divorce situation. Has anybody on here ever been through a divorce? You ladies, any of the people on my panel, any of you ladies? 1, 2, and then 2. So it's 2 out of 50% of us have been through a divorce. You know, a divorce can impact your retirement, your savings, your credit, you know, so much more. So when it's time, I have a membership or called Under Construction. You know, that after I meet with people after divorce that even have tax issues because of the improper handling of retirement distributions during a divorce settlement. So we have to be very careful, in getting the financial help that you need during a divorce. So membership becomes even more important during those times. And then taxes. I have sat down with so many people and called with members to the IRS, because I don't care what those commercials say, you are going to have to talk with the IRS if you owe taxes, period. So we have to file our returns, set up payment arrangements if it's necessary, get it done, figure out how we're going to get that payment done. If you have any tax situation, because there's certain people that if you owe, like federal government school loans and taxes, you can't get around it. Anything that's backed by the government, you can't get around it. So let's make sure that we realize that talking through most of these things that happen to us, they can happen to us, but we do not have to stay in those situations. And all of you are examples of how you can take a situation and make it for your good. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you. Y'all want to add something before we go? Everybody on the panel, let me know. Thank you for your yes. Yes, back at you. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much to all of you for participating. This has been great. Please email me and let me know if 8 o'clock at night is good for you. Y'all look good in the night light. I see you, ladies.
I like it better than noon.
You like it better than noon? That's right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Since you were saying about the last thoughts, for me,
yeah,
I would say we all have situations, but our situations don't have to have us.
Yes, that's right. Preach. That's right. Amen. Hallelujah. Our situations do not have to have us. So we got to start from the top. Because it's so bad when you see people that their situation has totally just encompassed them and destroyed their spirit. It's not going to make it any better. So every time where I feel overwhelmed, I realize, like Ms. Guy, I say that movement always makes things better. Movement, move, do something, organize something, change something, call somebody, do something, but move. Movement always helps. It even relaxes you if you're sitting there stressing out about it, because a lower credit score is connected to cardiovascular disease. Like you have a higher chance of cardiovascular disease if you have a lower credit score. And I think that's connected to stress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's killing us. You're right. And so it's impacting your health, and it's impacting everything, and it's hurting us, and then causing us to have to cut our careers short and everything. So let's just love on each other. Let's stay together. Think about whenever. What's the Al Green song? But just let's keep love alive. Love is always, better, because we don't even want to talk about how expensive divorce is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, work it out, be good. If it's not working, cut your losses, get out of there, because it gets more and more expensive the deeper you get in it. So be very careful in all relationships that you have. Don't co-sign anything that can be hell. Be very careful. Take everything very seriously. Be very, very conscious of what you do, because we got to do. My second point is we have to take personal responsibility for all the situations that we're in. My dad used to say 99% of the problems that we have, we created ourselves, So let's take responsibility for this. It's important to seek. Thank you, Dr. Williams. He said 8 o'clock is good. Ms. Jude said it's important to seek guidance before getting into financial situations. Credit scores still weigh heavily, even for jobs. Isn't that the truth? People checking your credit score. They check your credit score to get your car insurance, your home insurance, to get your job. Let's stay together. Be accountable for self-decisions. Indeed. Y'all stay prayed up. Thank you for everything. God bless y'all.
Thank you.
Love you. Y'all so pretty. Y'all beautiful women. Beautiful. Dress up next week. See y'all. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.